Hello, hello. I'll be starting soon. So if you're catching me, hello. And if you're subscribed to my Google Calendar, you probably noticed that I pushed back this stream like 2 times. But I'm happy I made it today, so that's cool. And feel free to drop in a hello on the chat. Let me know where you're watching from. And we're gonna just do something easy today, super chill, playing with some iridescent Photoshop brushes and making this new moon, like a nice little mystical new moon template because um, in 2 days, it is the new moon, the last new moon of the year, new moon in Capricorn. Hey, Linda, glad to see you. Yay. With it being around the holidays, I wasn't sure how many people I will catch, but anyway, I record it. People can watch in their own time and everything. Hey, Joyce, good afternoon. So it's 9:30 here. And oh my goodness, I got a chiropractic adjustment today, a much, much, much needed chiropractic adjustment. And it's like, I feel so much better, but all because also I'm sitting all day. And but I think it makes you like extra sleepy because all of this like energy is going through your body and just, I don't know, like your body just needs to adapt to it or whatever. So I'm gonna sleep good tonight. Oh, hey, gotta leave. Glad to see you. Okay, so we're just gonna have a little bit of fun, mainly using the iridescent brushes. And I just quick threw this together, but I had the idea that I wanted to do kind of like an astrology horoscope sort of, design, or you can look at it however you want. But something just like mystical, cool. It kind of has very, cute colors, the iridescent. I love them. And what was I going to do? So yeah, so we'll do something like this. It's not maybe the best, most perfect design that I've done, but I threw it together real fast. So I'm just going to show you how I put this together and show you kind of some of the brushes that I was using and some of the little, tricks and stuff like that. So let me just do like arrange to up vertical. So I'm just going to kind of pop you through some of the main brushes that I was using out of my iridescent holographic collection. And so most of you guys are going to be familiar with the iridescent brush collection, but I do have a mini set of this brush collection available for my Behance subscribers, so you can subscribe and get a good little pack of these brushes. And of course, what is this? So these brushes are using most of them are using the pattern stamp multicolor technique. And then I also have some wet brushes in there, the mixer brushes. And so I really don't kind of use these enough, but I go over all of working with these brushes in this Behance project here. And so you can check that out if you're not familiar with working with these brushes. Hey Jetta, glad to see you. Hope you're having a great evening. We're on the late night schedule here right now, so going with it. So yes, I'm using the iridescent brushes, and I'm just going to kind of show you how I put this together, but also some of the brushes that I'm using. So just in case you guys aren't familiar or you're new to these brushes. So let me just pop over here. So I've got, okay, I made that brush size huge. So I have like a background over here. And so this one, gosh, I had saved these over in my tool presets. So this is one of my multicolor iridescent brushes. And I'm thinking I didn't put the name of it, like 20. Okay, I think it's brush number 20. And of course, this uses the multicolor technique. If you're not familiar with it, there's a link below. But I grabbed, it's brush 20 with the pressure sensitivity, and I used like the first iridescent color palette that's in this collection. And so we've just got this nice, really fun sort of effect that's coming out of the brushes. We get these gorgeous multicolor, of course most of you guys are familiar with that, but I like the pressure sensitivity ones because it's got that what do you call it? The pressure sensitivity. So it's got that transparency in it if you want, or you can keep, pushing and it will, become totally opaque. So you have that variableness. And let me just grab brush. This is the original brush 20 here, which didn't have, let's see, it doesn't have pressure sensitivity, but I since updated this collection. And so in the background of this, I'm using this brush 20p. Maybe I used actually 20, but as you can see, it's got, if I push lightly, it doesn't have a strong, it'll go light, but then if I push down, then I'll see all these beautiful colors dancing around. And I love these brushes, these iridescent brushes, and they're actually more fun just watching them because you can see the colors dance as you're painting. So those are a lot of fun. So I'm using those. That is one of the key brushes that I'm using in the background, and just, seeing those colors dance around. These brushes were quite took me a lot of time to figure out how to make the brush do that, and they're quite complicated. And if you guys, I went into the brushes yesterday's tutorial about how I built those brushes, but if you guys are interested, maybe I'll do another tutorial about building those brushes, but tons of trial and error. And then I used, let's see, what do I got here? So this is a cloud, a nice cloud brush. And I really need to pull these and make these into like maybe their own collection, because this is actually from a tutorial. So it's just like a little mini brush collection that comes with, if you're a member. And trying to, okay, I'm like wheeling through, okay, clouds and stars. So it's just this little mini brush kit. It's available for my members, but I like the cloud feeling that this has. And of course, this is even using the multicolor brush, the multicolor technique. So as you see here, we've got these multicolor that I'm using this iridescent brush palette here, which is very light. So I had, I kind of layered that over the moon icon. And of course I'm taking like liberties with the moon, because this kind of is, it's a new moon, means you can't see the moon, but I'm just taking artistic liberties with it. So, whatever, we're going with it. So that's the brush that I used, that cloud brush. And I think it really turned out well. And then also I'm using some of the iridescent brushes. So I think I used one of the wet brushes from the iridescent collection. This is number 4, and I loaded it with one of my pre-made wet palettes. And I'm getting a little funkiness around the edges because how I loaded it, there's some spaces, there's some, what do you call it? It got some of the other things. So I'll load that, whatever. But it's just that creamy brush in the background. That was really cool. Or no, there it is. Maybe that's better. So this is using the iridescent brushes, but you can get these. What's fun about these brushes is that you can get those really gorgeous iridescent effects super easily. So I've already done all of the thinking basically for you, and made the brush and made the color palette so you can paint in these like really nice, cool effects and everything. So I used that in the background, and then over the moon. So I did that, and then I just used one of the galaxy brushes. I like this one. I actually use it in one color just to add some white spaces over the top. But this is from my galaxy collection, and I just like these like harsh bursts of kind of a galaxy sort of formation. I'm glad you like it, Carolina. And hey there, Tekadine. Nice to see you. Love to see like your guys' little comments, always like cheers me on. And so then I had just some accents. I had some little stars from a starry collection that I had done before, and just a couple other little starry brushes for some, changing it up or whatever. So what I'm going to show you though is I really kind of wanted to feel that moon sort of situation. So I was like, okay, I need actually like a photo of a moon so that I can make it look just a little like just less than a circle, because it's very abstract. So what I did was I actually went over to Adobe Stock, which is, you know, like my #1 bay lately. I go to it now instead of Unsplash for free photos because I find the search is much better. They've got an amazing selection of free photos. If you're an Adobe, I guess they're free if you're, I don't know if they're free for everybody or if you're an Adobe subscriber, but I just found the selection is like really amazing. So I selected this one. I just typed in moon and I liked this, you know, the moon, you know, type cartography, I don't know, whatever, topography. So I was like, this is a great one. So I downloaded it, I licensed it, I downloaded it, and then I opened it up over here. And so let's just go to my, I'll have this over here for reference, and then go to my demo file. So when I'm done, I'll add these by tomorrow, probably. Okay, it's 9:30 here. I'm probably going to peace out after this, but I'll put the demo files and the loaded brushes available for my Behance subscribers and Patreon subscribers. So Patreon, just check your instant access folder tomorrow. But so what I have here is like my, I've got my little standard setup. So what I want my final design to be is like 1500 by 1500. And so I've got this document, which is 2000 by 2000, and I have a little preview crop. And this is also helpful for me because if I'm using any wet brushes and I pull off from the side, if you pull off from the document side, it can get some weird colors around the edges. So this is just something that I always do. And plus I like to give myself a little wiggle room in case I want to move something. I just like having a crop sort of situation. But my main, you know, area is going to be 1500 by 1500. So I've actually, in this setup file, I've put a square 1500 by 1500 there. And what I did was I just dragged one of my gradients from the, that I already had from this Iridescent collection. So you can make your own gradient, but I have this whole collection there. So that's why, you know, I have the collection so I don't have to do the work every time, you know. So I just took that gradient and I dropped it here. I think that was it, yeah. So I just dropped it like that and it looked okay. Although, let me see here. Yeah, that was it. I didn't even move it. So I was like, it's good enough, whatever. So dropped that there. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is take my ellipse tool, make a new layer, and I'm going to make a circle that's 1000 by 1000. So that's what I did for the moon. I'm thinking that was that. So let's just put it squaw in the middle. And let's see here, what did I do? So what I'm going to do is, I think I did put the, yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I want to make a clipping mask of my moon. So what I'll do first of all is put a new layer above it and then hover between them with my Option key, push down to make a clipping mask. Now everything that is in that between those layers will be a clipping mask. And so I'm going to Option and drag my 1500 by 1500 background. And so I'm just going to fill in that moon with that color as like a base. And then what I'm going to do is go over to this Adobe Stock. And I'm simply going to go to my Magic Wand tool and click Select Subject. And it's just going to select the moon. So that's really easy. Carolina, the cloud brush is in. Let me show you. And then also I'm going to attach it tomorrow to this project as well. But the cloud brush, let me just find this really fast. It's also, it will be on the PDF somewhere, but it is somewhere in here. Oh wait, I know where it is. It's like some of these I need to turn into their own. Oh, here it is. So it's Painting Mystic Clouds in Photoshop. It's this collection here. And I believe it is Cloud Brush number 3. So that's it. And it's available for my members now. So I just selected the subject and then I'm just going to cut that. And then I will go over here and I'm going to paste it in this, which I can turn off this color so I can see my circle. So I'm going to paste it and hit Command T. And so I'm going to make it just about the size of the circle, you know, just so, like the exact size, whatever. Holding, yeah, and hit return. And then I think I put the blend mode to overlay, and let's turn that color back on. So now we've kind of got a cool vibe with that. So we've got the ellipse filled in with the same gradient as the background, and then we've got that thing set to overlay. And let me pop this here. And then what else did we do with this? So let's get this bad boy done first here. And so I thought it would be cool to take some of the an iridescent brush and kind of paint on that moon a little bit to see how that would turn out. And so that's what I did here. And so also it makes those it made those dark spots look a little less dark. So right now let's go to our little clipping thing. So we've got the white, we've got the fill color of the gradient, we've got this overlay of the moon. That's always going to stay on the top of our thing. And now we're just going to add a little bit of the multicolor brush in there. And I think I might have written down what brush I used or saved it. Okay, let me see here. I think I saved it as a tool preset. So when I'm in a hurry and I'm making something like this, I usually save them over to the tool presets. But you know what? Let me make a new layer on top so I can just check these brushes. So that's the brush I used for the background. That's that. So no, I did not save that. Rude. Let me just, I mean, really you could take anything, but I kind of want to like make sure that it looks nice. So I'm going to duplicate this layer over to my live demo, click OK, live demo. And I've got it on a clipping mask, which I don't want. Okay, so that is, I used a lighter color palette. So I use something like this, and let me find this brush. It's got the wiggles in it. And I, of course, I have, don't I have got a little preview of my brushes here. So one, really you could use anything, but I'm gonna try to replicate it. Ooh, they're all so nice. 25 looks cool. So does 29. Yeah, there's really no wrong answers. Let me try 25 or 29. So let's hide this. Go on to that clipping mask layer underneath the moon. And I've got this kind of a bluey sort of, this color blend from my iridescent collection. And oh, I'm going to show you one other thing that I did too. Let me just draw this in there. So we're going to go to the iridescence, brushes. Oh no, I don't. 29, 29P. Let me take that brush size up. I don't think this was it, but yeah, I like that because that's kind of, I think in the end I didn't have much of that gradient showing. But let's see here. So 25P, no. Let's go with 29. Okay, let's just see, and let's zoom in a little bit here. So yeah, it's nice because I think I just kind of filled this in finally, but you can see the pressure sensitivity, and if I wanted to, maybe I'll take a different brush or a different color palette to bring in a little bit more color there. So that's kind of nice. So there's just there's no wrong thing. So the main thing was I was wanting to have this iridescence inside the moon, but then, you know, the moon photograph creates that like sort of topography of the moon that you can still see with that overlay blend mode. So whatever, we filled that in. And one thing though that I wanted to do and that I did on this one, so for the all the iridescent collections, I have these overlay layer styles, which I go over in another video, but basically what I do is sometimes you like the colors are really soft and really light if it iridescence. And so sometimes I want to intensify the colors a little bit. So what I can do is make a new layer over everything. I can paint it with any color and then I click these, but that way it's filled in. That's key. And then I click on one of my intensifier layer styles. So I'm just going to use Intensify 1. And it just puts a color overlay of like black, soft light, and then overlay in black. And I've got it on a soft thing. And it'll just bring out all the colors a little bit more. And so sometimes that's nice because whenever I did those iridescent collections, sometimes they could go a little bit light. So I can go click on Iridescent Intensify 1, Intensify 2, Intensify, you know, make them like really, really wild. But I'm going to stick with the Intensify 1. And that's the, you know, the base of the moon. And now I did add one other thing as I thought it would be cool to add a little bit of a wet brush stroke there. So I made a new layer below the moon, but above the, oh gosh, above the, this layer of the colors, you know, and you can just play around there. But I like that. That was cool. You know, those, using any brush you want of the iridescent brush collection in there. So I'm going to put that a new layer above that. And I'm going to grab my, go down to one of my mixer brushes. So it's like, I'll grab Wet Iridescent 4. And if I just, it's already preloaded with an iridescent brush palette, but I'll go over to my wet brush palettes from this collection and I'll just get a color palette that looks nice to me. And I'm not sure which one I ended up getting finally, but let's go here. Maybe I'll just try, I want something with a little bit of color, maybe 27 or 28. So to load that palette, premium palette into the brush, we're going to Option and click, and that's going to load that color palette up there. And you can see it loaded here, but you can also see it catching some of the other color palettes because it's a bit big. So when I make that brush stroke, sometimes it can look a little funny, but that looks okay finally. So I'm going to, and I'm just going to right bracket to make my brush a little bit bigger. And that's a little bit too dark, that one finally. So I'm going to go over and click on this, maybe 27. So we'll just see how, you know, it's just trial and error. Option, click to load that color palette. I made my brush bigger, so it might have some funny, that still looks a bit purple, but whatever. Okay, I'm going to go with it. I like how this one created this little, like, you know, that little rainbow. Depending on how you sample it, where you sample it, you can just make it like really perfect. I'm going to try a few others just to see how it looks nice. So I just kind of want to go over the top of it and create just kind of a cool sort of effect. And so I made all those color palettes for you so that you can just have like a lot of fun. That looks kind of cool. So whatever. Okay, so we're just gonna go like this. How did I do that? Did I put, no. The wet, okay, wet brush. Oh, I did put a layer mask on there. So I think I just kind of made a couple brush strokes, and that one's a little bit more intense, to be fair. Kind of went like that. Okay, we're not gonna like, well, I don't love that blue there, so I'm gonna keep doing it and be obnoxious until, let's see this one here. I think that's the one that I did. I think I did something like that. And oh, you can take your brush smoothing up if you're like me and are not making a really smooth stroke. So that's cool. Okay, so we're just like leaving it like this. So just a little accent, not perfect, but I think what I did, oh yeah, so I didn't want this to be so sharp here. So what I did was I made a layer mask on this layer. So I've got that brush stroke layer, and then I can just click here to make a layer mask, go over to my gradient tool, and then I can just do foreground to transparent and go up a little bit. Oh, make sure I'm on a, not a radial gradient, but this one, the straight line. And I think I just faded it a little bit on the edges because I wanted it just to be a little bit softer. And I might even fade it here. So that's cool. So that's kind of how I did it. Although actually I'm giving it to you in a like slightly, when I was doing this, I kind of did everything in a different order, but I thought I would just show you how I made that, that moon. But it's all about layering, layering, layering. And yeah. And this one's very kind of homogeneous. Usually you want a little bit of contrast, but I kind of just wanted it all to be very light and very iridescent in the background for that to make this background. So here, let me just put this here because I don't think it's, let's put everything on one. Okay, so as you can see, it's just a very light, but I finally, you know, I think it's good for, you know, how it turned out anyway. So let's go back to my live. And then the main thing that I did with the background to start off with is I took, above that background, I'm going to make a new layer. And I took this brush here, which I think I figured out what brush that was from my Iridescent collection, but you can just pick any brush you like. But I liked this, and I picked the first color palette. Oh, I think it was 20. Oh, I have got to remember to stop putting my elbows on the table because that's contributing to my back problem. Okay, so what did I do? Let's just try to make my little documents be next to each other so I can see them. Yeah, so I just kind of filled in some of this background, like not the whole thing with this brush. And I think finally I didn't even use the pressure sensitivity one, but and we can go back through and add some more, but I just added like a little bit just all around, but actually that looks kind of crap. What did we do here? Yeah, we're gonna add some more layers, so we're not gonna worry that it looks a little bit weird or crappy. But we're gonna let's just put some of that here, this brush stroke, and just go with it for now. Not gonna just be too stressed out about it. Yeah, because it's just all over. That's just the same brush. So I just kind of made some cloudy sort of things, but maybe I left like, really, I think I ended up redrawing it even. So we're not, yeah, I'm not going to just like whatever. So I have that in the background. And then also what I did was above that, I made a new layer and I took that Iridescent brush number 4, wet brush number 4, which I like. It has a nice softness to it. And I loaded it up with one of my Iridescent color palettes. And I just made oh wait, shit, oops, sorry, shoot. So it's, I think this one here, yeah. Is that it? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so just got this nice, you know, nice soft thing. And you know what, let me just turn this off because that's just too much right now. So I just made a nice brush stroke, and I don't know which one, but I finally used, but just something like that. I'm like, why does mine look so nicer there? Probably because it's at the end, so sometimes, you know, it just looks messy in the middle, you know, and then you just, But oh my gosh, there's totally a book, that one, the messy middle. Oh my gosh. I feel like my whole life is the messy middle. And even I like my brush stroke that I made when I did it there, but whatever. Okay, we're trying to emulate it. So we're just making this kind of wet, gorgeous sort of brush stroke and bringing out some more of the light. So that's that. Yeah, okay, we did that. Now let's go back that behind it and try to fill in some of that with some of that brush. I think it's, yeah, let's just kind of fill in a little bit of this. So this is kind of whatever. Okay, good enough. Blah, blah, blah. All right, so we've got that. And what did I do to make that so lighter? Oh, you know what? I know why that I'm not loving it. It's because I used a lighter sort of, the moon is lighter here and it's quite darker here and it's too similar to the background. So what I might do is just take that layer that I draw and take that opacity down a little bit. Anyway, that feels a bit better. I kind of want to feel that difference. Maybe I used a different color palette in that moon. I wanted that like lighter color palette compared to the outside. So anyway, we're going to hit save and try to keep trucking through here. And then I did use those clouds over everything. So above the moon, I'm going to put a new layer. And did I put that over the, no, yeah, okay. So new layer, it's under the intensify layer though, of course, like all of it. And this is that cloud brush that I showed you from one of my other tutorial collections. And it's like cloud brush number 3. And I'll link it down below afterwards, but it's a lovely cloud brush, but I'm using this very, very light, almost white iridescent color palette. And so then we can just draw some clouds, this soft, why is that one? Yeah, okay, that's it, I guess. So just drawing some soft clouds. Is that the one? Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah. So just kind of lightening up, drawing some mystical sort of cloud vibes. I swear it always turns out nicer, the one that I did before, but I think we'll get there. I think we will. So that's cool. We've got clouds. Okay. So, and if you want to see that brush just on its own, there you go. We've got Gorgy clouds, Gorgina. Okay, and then you push down, it'll be thicker. Well, but it's a soft, you know, whatever. And did I even do like an outer glow on the moon? Oh no. The one last thing though that I did is on the moon, I did an inner glow. So let's just look at this. I had a screen, the opacity was 40, so I just played with it until I was happy. But I'm just gonna copy that layer style. It's an inner glow, basically. So I'm gonna go to my base layer of my moon and I'm gonna paste that layer style. That helps it kind of stand out a little bit, so we're happy there. And then what else did I do? I put some, okay, put some white stars. Oh, and then I did that. So now above the clouds, I'm going to make a new layer. And this one is the Galaxy brush number 19 from my Galaxy collection. And like I showed you guys before, it's just kind of got this like sharp sort of thing. And this looks really cool with the Galaxy, but I like it here as well. I just want to get some white sort of things because happening here. And if I don't love it, I can redo it, whatever. Just I wanted to feel some kind of like white in there. So I thought that was cool. And then I added these star brushes. So this is from my little, oh my gosh, sorry if I'm giving anybody vertigo going through these super fast. From that same clouds and stars set that I showed you before. These are sparkles, a sparkle brush, and I'm just using one color. So it's just some little sparkly brush. And let's just look here. So I just kind kind of played with that over the clouds, whatever. Is it perfect? No, but what have you. Okay, so we've got sparkles in. And then the last thing that I did was put a couple of these stars. So, in fact, I think I grabbed I have a starry brush collection. And I grabbed Starry Brush 20 with all these different stars. Oh, wait, let me show you the brush collection. And then these ones are a bunch of little starry brushes, and it's kind of a weird little collection because you might not be able to find it so well on my site. It's actually this champagne that I illustrated, but I kind of threw in this little brush collection. But I like these starry brushes. And so we're just going to add some little white some little white stars around the whole sitch. And just, I thought those were cool. Did I put anything around them? No. And I think that was about all of so as you can see, it looks different, but you know, you can make, your own. It's just layering brushes essentially. So there's no right or wrong, but I try to kind of recreate what I did before. And yeah, so I think that's all of the main brushes. And then let me see here. And even so now I can kind of see where there's some spaces. So this is that background brush that I did here with that, the iridescent. I could even make a new layer, turn that off. And then now that I kind of already have everything down, I could go back again and kind of just redraw that and maybe leave some blue spaces and, just replay with it. So it's just looks quite nice, And I like some of that blue peeking out even there. I think that's really nice. And then so then I just added my text. So I'm not going to show you that because, I think that's a bit the boring bits. But I've got a couple fonts that I use all the time. So I used Gotham Pro. I think you can use Montserrat if it's you want a free version of that. And then I have Playfair Display, and just kind of just set this out like this. So just laid it out. But what I think I'll do is I'll have the background, and I keep meaning to make my freebie library, which I have a bunch of things to put in it. So I'll be doing that soon. Even if you're not a subscriber. So, make sure you follow my newsletter and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, so if I just wanted to copy the text over, I could. And then I just put a little, rectangle behind this because I wanted this text to stand out. And I dropped in one of the gradients from my iridescent brush collection, and then just put the opacity down to 38. So I thought that was nice. So let's just take our live demo and see how we finally look. Let's make a new layer. And I'm going to copy over my text that I did earlier. Right click, duplicate layers onto live demo, click OK. And I did not take my little rectangle, duplicate layer onto live demo, click OK. This should be below. Oh, and these need to be below my little crop box. Hello. There we go. So more or less, I think I did an okay job recreating it. Every time is different, and you still, here I think I did a little bit better. You feel that moon sort of illustration there. Oh, I think maybe why is that I can put I put the moon over this, but yeah. But I like here that I felt that you still feel a little bit like that topography of the moon. So I think that was nice. Here I could just use a little bit less of this layer. I could even take the opacity down a little bit, or just use a different color palette. But anyway, we got close enough today, so we're going to go with it. And let's hear what time is it. So, oh yeah, it's been long enough, 40 minutes. So that's it. I'll have the demo files available for my subscribers. And, oh, sorry, I'm breaking up. Okay. Well, good thing I'm breaking up at the end. So thank you guys for tuning in. And thanks for letting me know, Linda. But I'll have the loaded brushes and stuff, and I'll attach them tomorrow. And I'll be online sometime tomorrow for a live tutorial. So you can visit creatorscouture.com and there's a live section with a calendar. And tomorrow it's going to be a bit early because I'm in Europe and I actually have plans in the evening. So that's shocking. I'm going to go to a ladies' night. So anyway, thanks everybody for supporting and jumping in and letting me know that you were there. That's awesome. Have a great rest of your day. Good run up to Christmas. I'm sure everybody's super busy. But anyway, I'll see you guys mañana. Thank you so much.